This is Lord Thaddeus Cray. Because of the fact that weather is coming this way, supposedly a storm, especially over the weekend, is going to be coming. Some of the stuff might be delayed. I'm not quite sure yet. It's too soon to say anything, but I'm going to say this. I have been asked a few times, not much, but sometimes the conversation just comes up as to what it's like in the mental health system. I'm going to tell you right now. I figured I may as well make a video on it. Kind of having to ration cigars and all that for right now. Like I said, due to the weather. So I'm going to have to kind of work with these cheap things for a little bit, make the expensive ones last. But anyway, moving on from that. Point blank, the mental health system, I want to say it's broken, but at the same time, it isn't. There are good people out there who will help you if you have mental problems or you need help in one way or the other. But unfortunately, at the same time, it is quite broken. There are many situations where, how can I say this the best way? One has to know what to ask and they have to know themselves. That's a challenge, especially for people who are more mentally unsound. A lot of times, these guys don't have a voice. I've been personally in psych wards in and out a lot, more than I can even count. Especially, let's say, around 10 years ago. I've only been in twice, maybe three times in the last 10 years. So that's actually pretty damn good, to be honest. Now, what would you expect in a place like that? It really depends on the situation, where you go, and also the problems you're having and the symptoms you're showing. Sometimes I will check myself into a place if I need the help, which is rare, but sometimes I do. I have done this before. And usually, if you communicate with the people inside of the facility, you will get the help you need. Not always. Some places are just bad. I'm gonna be honest. I've seen abuse. I've seen some bad stuff. I have. Matter of fact, I've been the subject of abuse before. I've had people try to pull things on me, and luckily, because I was aware of my surroundings and also the fact that I had people vouching for me at the time, it failed. I also had to learn to watch my back a lot of times against other people who were much more unsound than I was at the time. It's not too different from being in jail, to be honest with you. The security in some ways is actually much tighter, to be honest, if you get my drift. Now, is it near as much of a nightmare as being in the penal system? I'm pretty sure it's not. I have no desire to find that out either. But it is very much, you're at the whim of different people, to be honest. You're at the whim of the psychiatrist. And of course, therapists, you have to go to groups and things like that. You're at the whim of these people. You have to work with the system. And that's the most important thing I can tell anybody is if you're in a situation like that where you have a mental health warrant, sin against you and you have to go in, don't fight it, number one. This is if you're sound of mind, enough to understand what I'm talking to you about. Don't fight it and work with it. I guarantee you, speak and people will help you. Let them know, hey, I want to do better. I want help. I need to get out of here and get myself together. They will work with you, I promise you. For me, it took me a long time. I was on so much stuff. They even tried electroshock therapy with me until they finally got it right. And of course, you guys already know I was in a group home for a while. And I gotta give Gwen and Stacy, the respect they deserve. They helped me. They did. And I'll always be grateful to them for that. But when it was time for me to step out on my own, again, and get my life back, this is as recent as a couple of years ago, it was a challenge. And sometimes people will support you, and sometimes they won't. But you have to keep communication clear with the people that you are working with to keep this together. Now, of course, the mental situations I've dealt with have definitely thinned the veil to the paranormal, as you guys already know. I'm pretty transparent on these things because honestly, I think this can help someone. I have a platform now, and this is my responsibility. You guys already know from one of the videos I did that I had a calling, and this is part of it. Again, if there's any kind of situation you're dealing with, keep communication open. Don't overreact. But at the same time, if you're ever in a facility, like a situation where you're locked up in a facility against your will or whatever, talk to the people. Now, sometimes you're in a bad situation. You can't help that. But 90% of the time, a lot of those guys got in serious trouble. The patients or whatever, they'd be in some serious shit because they were acting out, and that you can't blame them for. They're out of their minds. Or, in some cases, people who are as sound of mind as I am, or most of my audience, they were assholes. Let me tell you, you got treated like that. Real quick. The most important thing is communicate and don't be a dick. Things are going to work slowly. The gears take time to turn. You're going to be in there for at least a week, at least, maybe a couple. But once you get that situation settled, I promise you, it will work out. You have to make sure you have a good support system, and you have to make sure that damn phone, but anyway, you have to make sure that not just a good support system, you have to communicate. Let them know, hey, this is working, this is not working. Talk. Don't ever hesitate to speak your mind, and try to be patient if you can. That's a challenge. I was letting you know, being inside a psych ward is not fun, and in some ways, it's more secure than any other, any criminal facility that you can even think about. So prepare for a ride, but at the same time, as long as you keep your wits about you, as well as communication opening, your communication open, I guarantee you should not have any problem in one of these places as long as you simply use common sense. And I know when you're mentally not sound at that period of time, whether you're suicidal, homicidal, whatever, or angry or scared, it's frightening to it's frightening and it's hard to follow what I'm saying. But take it from someone who has taken this situation for a long time, usually of my will, but a lot of times against it at times too. Listen to my words and follow what I say, and I promise you, on this one situation, you will make it through. I just wanted to put that out there. I thought it'd be important. You guys be blessed and you be safe.